Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope everyone had a great weekend and a great Monday. I didn't do a video yesterday because there was not much going on, so I figured why waste your guys' time when there's nothing to talk about. So I spent the time working on some other future videos that I want to do. Okay, so today we're going to get into the markets, and the markets were kind of mixed. S&P and Dow were down a little bit. NASDAQ was up. Bitcoin and Ethereum were down. We'll take a look at all that. Then we also have Bitcoin miners. We'll take a look at them. For the most part, about 99% of them were up. A couple of them were down. We'll take a look at it. And then we'll also take a look at the 2022 top miners based on performance. So this is how much they grew, how much BTC and everything else. We'll take a look at that. Who are the top 5 miners? Not what you think. And we'll take a look at it. But we also have to talk about Mawson. Based on what I just read on their release for December production, it's like they're not a Bitcoin miner, they're an electricity reseller. That's kind of the way I took it at least. Okay, but we'll get into all of it. And we'll call it a day. So that is it. As always, you guys know the drill here. I'm investing in following coins and companies for full disclosure and not financial advice, as always. For entertainment only, do your own research, please. And if you enjoy this type of content, please hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And let's get into the markets here, see what's going on with them. So the S&P was down today 0.2% to 3,990. Dow Jones was down also 1.14% to 33,910. NASDAQ was up 0.14% to 11,557. Bitcoin, we got to look at the actual chart here on it. Let's see here. It was down today 0.24%. It closed at 21,136. We had a pretty good day yesterday. We were up 1.47% and we closed at 21,187. So we did close a little bit below it today. We are currently up a little bit on it. We did hit a high today of, what was the high? 21,595, which was kind of nice. We're seeing these kind of stepping stones that we're having here a little bit throughout the last couple of days, which is nice. And also, if we look at the 4-hour chart, we can see here that the RSI has been coming down while price has been going up slowly, which is a good sign. I'd still like to see the RSI come down a little bit more before we continue possibly going back up higher, or otherwise I'm afraid we're going to crash. And we don't want that. Okay, so that's what we're looking at on the 4-hour. 1-hour chart is the same thing. We're seeing that the RSI is coming down, but price from here has been coming up. So that's a good sign as well. Wouldn't mind seeing that come down a little bit more, closer to the 30 mark, and then possibly going back up, but we'll see how that one goes on. Ethereum was also down today. Let's go back to the daily chart. We can see that it was down today 0.71% down. Yesterday was up 1.54% to a high of 1,603. Today we reached a high of 1,608, and right now we are at 1,567. So we can see that we are way overbought on the daily time frame. RSI has been coming down. If we look at the 4-hour also, we can see that that has been coming down, which is good, but the price has been going up as well. So that's a good sign there. And if we look at the 1-hour chart, we can see the same thing, that the RSI from here is pretty much the same, but price at that point has been going up a little bit as well. So we're still in a pretty good shape there. Okay, let's take a look at the miners here really quick. ANY was up 7.72% to 45 cents. Argo was up 23.81% to $1.82. They had a nice day today. And then let's go to the daily chart. We can see that a lot of the miners started out a lot higher in the beginning of the trading day, but then as the day went on, they went down in price and value. You can see with Argo also, with Bit Digital was up 18.64% to $1.40. Bitfarms was up 2.8. They were up much higher than where they ended up at. They almost broke the Friday's trading session, which hit a high of, what was that, $1.26. They were up only today to $1.25, so they were pretty close to that. Bitfarms, there's CleanSpark. CleanSpark was up 5.43% to $2.72. Core Scientific was up 22% to 10.5 cents. DigiHost was up 32.91%. That one just kind of started out high in the morning and just kept on going, so it finished out at $1.05. DMG was up 4.67% to 24 cents. You can see that as well on the chart here. Started out higher in the morning and then continued to going down. Greenidge was down 7.56% to 98 cents. Hive was up 6.07% to $3.32. We also have a story on Hive to talk about. They appointed a new CEO. We'll take a look at it. I forgot to put in the beginning of the video. Hut 8 was up 16.46% today to $1.84. Iris Energy was up 6.56% to $1.85. Marathon was up 8.98% to $8.37. Mawson was up 2.5% to 41 cents. Riot was up 6.48% to $6.41. And Soluna was up 8.51% to 50 cents. TerraWolf was up 15.91% to $1.02. So they had a pretty good day today. And then that is it for the miners. So mixed day in the markets. Bitcoin and Ethereum being down, but the miners were up. And that's mostly because Bitcoin has gone up from where it was on Friday. I think that's why they went up today, even though Bitcoin did finish out the day in the red a little bit. Okay, let's take a look at the network hash rate really quick, see where that's stacking up right now. And on the 7-day average, we are going back up to 272 million. Bitcoin's going up in price, so that's going to result in more miners being plugged in. And if we look at the 1-day average here, we can see that we are coming back up here to 291 million right now. So miners are being plugged in. Okay, so let's take a look at our first story here, which is going to be on, we'll do Hive first, and then we'll get into Mawson, and then we'll get into the 22 top 5 miners. So Hive Blockchain announces appointment of Aiden Keilik as Chief Executive Officer. He's been with them for a couple of years now, almost 2 years, I think. So here's what Frank had to say. Executive Chairman stated Mr. Keilik was onboarded in the summer of 2021 as President and Chief Operating Officer of Hive, with the vision to replace me as the interim Chief Executive Officer to be the full-time Chief Executive Officer. Okay. I can proudly state that Aiden has exceeded expectations and has proven himself to the board of directors, the employees under his leadership, shareholders, and to myself that he has what it takes to provide senior executive leadership to Hive. So he got promoted, and that's a good thing, I think. We'll see if how he manages to steer Hive in 2023, whether there's going to be any more buying of Bitcoin miners, whether there's going to be any maybe buying distressed assets, maybe some miners or something like that. We'll see what he does, and we'll see how he does going forward. Hopefully he's going to have a little bit more time to concentrate on Hive than Mr. Frank did. Mr. Frank seemed to spend a lot of time on Twitter. So we'll see how Aiden does. Wishing him all the best in his new position, and hopefully he can do a great job in growing the company going forward. Okay, so that was relatively quick. Let's take a look at Mawson here. So Mawson Infrastructure Group Inc. announces December 2022 operational updates. There's their facility there. You can see all the containers with the ASIC miners in them. And if we go down here, I'm not going to read the CEO statements here. We are going to just look at their numbers here. So December Bitcoin self-mining energy market program and hosting co-location results. This is what they provided us with. So total Bitcoin production, actual and equivalent, was 261.83. Their equivalent BTC production from energy market program was 238.49 Bitcoins. Their self-mined Bitcoin produced was 23.34. They got 10 times more in revenue from the electricity market program than from their own mining. That's why I commented on the beginning, or had the infographic saying that they're more like an electricity reseller than a Bitcoin miner, because based on this, they sold more electricity than they actually mined in Bitcoin. Okay, their self-mining installed capacity is still 1 exahash, and the energy market program revenue approximately of 4 million. They only generated about 390 some thousand based on the average Bitcoin price in December from their own self-mining Bitcoin of 23.34, somewhere around there. So I don't know how I feel about that, where they're making more money from selling the electricity, which I think in a sense is good. One, if they're not, depending what their electricity rate is right now, if they're not profitable mining Bitcoin and they can actually generate better returns from selling it, I think that's a good thing. But I still don't like it. I'd like them to be Bitcoin mining instead of selling it. Okay, hosting co-location installed capacity of 1.9 exahash. So their customers have more exahash than they have for themselves. And let me see here. I think that is it. We already talked about the Georgia assets in the past where they sold it to CleanSpark. And we've also covered their 2023 operational focus, what they're trying to do in the coming year. So we've covered that. So let's take a look at the numbers that I have for them, and then we'll get into the 2022 results. Okay, so Mawson right now has about 81.7 million shares outstanding. Stock price is at 41 cents. Market cap is 33.5 million. So that's how I'm calculating shares outstanding, is market cap divided by stock price. And that's where we're getting the shares outstanding right now. Current hash rate is 1 exahash. Future hash rate about 1.7 exahash that I have right now for them that they still need to install. So they are 58% operational right now, and about 69, almost 70% growth left from where they are. Now, they don't hodl any Bitcoin. They pretty much sell everything that they do mine. And we can take a look at their BTCs mined here. So it has been coming down pretty much ever since May of this year, where they topped out at 185 BTC. Then in June, 127. Then July and August, they were at 90. Had a nice little bump here in September to 102. But after that, October was 53. November was 34. And now December is 23. So that's a little concerning. They've been curtailing a lot recently here. So hopefully that isn't the trend going forward for them. And then their BTC per exahash efficiency, we can see also that it topped out here in May of 123.3. June was 86 or 84.64, and July was 52.89. August was also 52.89, and September was 59.95. Had a nice bump in October of 103, and then back down to 39.98 and 23.32. So those are looking also pretty bad here. And is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Okay. It just seemed weird that I had almost the same numbers there for the BTC mined and the exahash efficiency. Okay, so we can see here that they generated about 395,000 based on the average Bitcoin price for December. That's also concerning there, seeing that their revenue has been coming down every single month just on their Bitcoin mining. But if they are getting the revenue from the electricity reselling, okay, so they might be close to, was it going to be 4.4 million in revenue roughly, if you include the 4 million in electricity. So that would be an increase for them. So they would be doing a little bit better than they have in the past, depending on how much they were also getting for October and September. But otherwise, just for their self Bitcoin mining, they started out in April at 6.4 million, down to 5.8 in May, down to 2.5 in June, and then down again to 1.9 in July. August was pretty close to that at 2. So September and then October was half that of 1 million. Then November was almost half that as well at 598,000, and then 395,000 now in December. So that is concerning. Okay. Now, as far as the amount of miners, this is what we have for them. Nothing got installed. So they're still at the 1 exahash as they were in November. But they did curtail a lot more. They were only operational for about 6.4 days out of the month. November, they were operational for about 9.2 days out of the month. So it has been coming down. I guess they're finding it more profitable to sell back into the grid their electricity that they would have otherwise had for Bitcoin mining. Okay. That's that one. As far as institutions are concerned, institutions did come down to 21 from 25. Shares also dropped hugely here from 9.9 million to 2.7, and percentage owned went down to 3.78 from 12.25. So that's also a little concerning there. Still have a one buy rating and a price tag of $2 across the board for the high, average, and low. And that's kind of where we are at with them. They are now at 40 cents. I have them last 3 quarters, which include Q1, I believe, Q2, and Q3. We're still waiting on results for Q4 once we get that, but we're using those last 3 quarters that are already reported. Current quarter we're using is the December quarter here, ending of possibly 2 million, looks like, just on their BTC mining. That doesn't include their energy market, whatever they call it, revenue that they make from that. And we're looking at approximately 43 million in total revenue for that time frame. And 50% net income from gross revenue, we're looking at $2.66, which is kind of with what the estimates, the analyst estimates are for them, about $2. They're looking more of like a PE of 8 or so, something like that. I'm at 10. I think Bitcoin starts going up a little bit higher. They could get a little higher than that. But seeing that they only have 700 petahash left to install for themselves, we'll see where they end up at. Okay. So that is it. Not sure what's really going on with Mawson as far as why they are curtailing that much. Has electricity prices gone that high for them where it doesn't make any sense for them to mine, or at least on some days it doesn't make any sense for them to mine? We'll see. Hopefully we'll get some more details when they provide the Q4 results, which could be the end of year results for them. Maybe they'll provide a little bit of commentary into that as far as what's going on there. Okay. So that is it for Mawson. I wish them all the best, and they definitely need to grow, like a lot of the miners need to grow as well, okay? Now, let's get into the 2022 results for the miners. So I took all the data that we have on them going back to this. I basically took all of their production here so far for the year for Bitcoin, their starting hash rate, where they ended up as far as their hash rate is at the end of the year. Everything else, we're still missing Greenwich. Greenwich still hasn't provided their November numbers or December numbers. I don't know if they're going to provide anything. They may be kicked out of this group here if they don't provide it. We'll give them a little bit more time, but it's starting to get into middle of the January, and we still don't have November numbers. So I'm thinking they're not going to provide those. Soluna, same thing, is falling behind as well. They may be getting kicked out of this as well until they get on board here. Okay, so those things you will have to. They ended up pretty much at the last spot anyway, so there's not really much to worry about there. Okay, so that's kind of what we're using the data from. And here are the results. So let me zoom this in for you guys. Let's see if we can go 150. There we go. Okay. So year-to-date hash rate added. So how much did each company add in hash rate? Riot came in number 1. They added 4.2 exahash. Marathon came in second at 3.5. Also, the reason I'm not including in here Core is because they filed for bankruptcy. Now, if they once and when they do get out of bankruptcy, I'll put them back into it. And they also have to report, obviously, continuously monthly updates as well. So that's the reason why. Otherwise, they would have been probably number 1 in here. CleanSpark came in at number 3 at 3.4 exahash. Bitfarms came in at number 4 spot at 2 exahash. Argo in the 5 spot with 1.3. Then we got TeraWolf in the 6th spot with 1.3 as well, a little bit under Argo. Hut 8 came in at number 7 spot with 1.13. Greenwich came in at number 8 at 1.10 exahash. BitDigital came in at number 9 with 944 petahash. Iris with number 10 spot with 640. They were much higher than that, but they returned a lot of the miners when they defaulted on their payments. DMG was number 11 spot with 337. DigiHost was number 12 spot with 235. Sphere came in pretty much flat at 0 growth for the year. Maybe a little bit of growth there, I think, but we're still waiting on the results. And let me see. Then we got Mawson. Mawson came in at number 14 spot. They were down 98 petahash from where they started. And that's also because they sold a facility and some miners to CleanSpark. And then Hive was down 389 petahash, and that was because they were also using GPU miners to mine Ethereum and then get paid out in Bitcoin, which were Bitcoin equivalents. So when that stopped working for them in September, their numbers drastically dropped and for their exahash of mining Bitcoin. Okay, so those are the lists, the rankings on those. And then yearly Bitcoin per exahash. So this is looking at the efficiency of each miner. With this one, I took the starting hash rate and the ending hash rate and basically got the average for the year, what that was, plus what they mined throughout the year for BTC, and divided that to get the BTC per exahash efficiency here. So Hive is a little high here at 155, and that was helped tremendously by not only their Ethereum mining being paid out in BTC, but also their hash rate decreasing, actually. So they were lower on that. I don't know how to get around that other than penalizing them somehow, but I just wanted to explain how they came up to be number 1 here. Iris Energy came in second as well. Iris Energy was also down here, and well, they were down, but they were up less as far as their BTC, their exahash. And that's because, like I said, they returned a lot of those miners, but when they did have the miners, they were mining a lot more. So it's not really accurate as well for Iris to be in the number 2 spot, but it is. They were mining through that period. However, they had to return their miners towards the end of November, I think. So that's why they're number 2 spot. Bitfarms came in number 3 spot. They were at 145 BTC per exahash. They probably should have been number 1 spot based on that they actually grew this year. And they didn't give back any of their miners because of default. So BitDigital came in number 4 spot, 138. DigiHost came in number 5 at 137. CleanSpark number 6 spot, 133. Hut 8 came in number 7 at 130. DMG at number 8 with 129. Argo number 9 spot with 115. Greenwich at number 10 spot with 113. TeraWolf came in at number 11 spot with 110. Marathon number 12 spot with 103. They also had a lot of issues this past year with the facility going down. They were mining barely any Bitcoins through the summer and then getting energization issues with the miners at Compute North and Compute North going bankrupt. It was a very turbulent year for Marathon. Riot was 103.07, so they're at number 13 spot. They did a lot of curtailment during the summertime, springtime as well. That cost them because of that. And then Sphere came in number 14 at 102. And finally, Mawson, number 15 at 101. Okay. Then as far as yearly BTC mined, we have a couple miners that were actually above 5,000. Riot came in at number 1 with 5,536 BTC. Bitfarms with 5,168. Hive came in at number 3 spot with 4,752. I expect Hive to be much, much lower in the rankings this year in 2023, mainly because, like I said, they're not mining Ethereum, getting paid out in BTC anymore. Their production has come way down. The Intel miners should help them out a little bit more into this year, but they have to continue to grow much more than where they are right now. CleanSpark came in at number 4 spot with 4,621. Marathon at 4,144 at the 5th spot. They should have been much higher on this ranking also, but because of the problems that they had, this is where they ended up at. Hut is next at number 6 spot with 3,568. Greenwich came in at the 7th spot with 2,318. Iris was number 8 with 2,295. Argo was number 9 with 2,157. Mawson number 10 at 1,337. And BitDigital number 11 with 1,247 Bitcoin. DMG number 12 spot with 889. DigiHost with number 13 at 835. TeraWolf number 14 at 547. And Sphere 3D at the last spot, 15 of 125 BTC. Next, we kind of look at yearly BTC divided by millions of shares. This is the last. These are the current shares outstanding, basically. So what we're looking for here is the efficiency and how many BTC they mine per shares. Usually what that tells us is the better efficiency, the more potential the stock has to go up because they're possibly going to be, generating more BTC per share. That's kind of the way I look at it. And I probably should have updated this. Let me see here. Why is that one coming up 64? Should have been, so let's do this. This one should have been, let's see here, descending. So CleanSpark came in number 1. Sorry, I had those two mixed up. Number 2. Number 3, I made a boo-boo. Number 4, number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, everybody else is the same. Okay, so CleanSpark came in number 1 spot. They had mined 64 BTC per million shares, which is really good. Hive came in second with 55.47 BTC per million shares. Greenwich number 3 with 51. Iris with 44. I expect Iris to be much lower next year along with Hive on this. Their production has come way down in BTC. DigiHost was 38, so they're number 5 spot. Marathon number 6 spot with 35. Argo 34 BTC number 7 spot. Riot at 33, number 8 spot. Bitfarms came in at number 9 spot, 21. Mawson was number 10 spot, 16.3, and Hut is number 11 spot with 15.8. BitDigital number 12 spot with 15.1. DMG 13th spot with 4.8. TeraWolf number 14 at 3.7. And Sphere 3D 15th spot with 1.8. So you can see how that all stacked up. I mean, you can see here, a couple of these guys were pretty big. I'm guessing Iris is going to be under that next year along with Hive. Like I said, because the production is down. So that is it. And then growth left. We're looking to see how much growth they have left to go. More is better, obviously, because that's going to help them out. As the network hash rate continues to increase, they will be able to generate more Bitcoin when they do finally get the miners installed. So Marathon came in at number 1 with 16 exahash left to go. TeraWolf came in number 2 with 3.4. Bitfarms came in at number 3 spot with 3. Riot came in number 4 with 2.8 roughly. They are going to be doing a little bit better next year with, or this year with their immersion cooling systems. Those should get a little bit of a bump, so that could get them up a little bit higher than that. Okay, Greenwich has about 2 exahash left. They came in number 5 spot. BitDigital number 6 spot with 1.5. Hive number 7 spot with 1.3. Sphere 3D at 1.3 exahash, so they're number 8 spot. Iris Energy is number 9 spot with 1.2. CleanSpark number 10 spot with 855 petahash left. And then Hut 8 at number 11 spot with 784. We also have Mawson at number 12 spot with 699. DigiHost number 13 spot with 484. And DMG number 14 spot with 126, and Argo basically being fully installed. Another thing to note is I believe Hut 8 is also fully installed pretty much with their BTC miners. They are down the 700 some petahash because of their facility and the dispute they're having with their electricity provider. Those miners are shut down. I think I'm subtracting those from that. So that's why they still have a little bit of growth, but I think otherwise they would be pretty much fully installed, if I'm not mistaken, okay? So that's how that turned out. And then here's the top total score for them all. Here's how they came in. I need to adjust this since we changed it up there. So we wanted this ascending. Okay, so out of all these, we added up all the scores here for a final score. Lower is better on this. Bitfarms came in at number 1 with 21 points. CleanSpark came in second with 24. Marathon came in at third spot with 26. Riot with 27. Hive with 28. Greenwich with 33, along with Iris. Hut 8 at 42, along with BitDigital. Then you got Argo with 45, TeraWolf at 47, DigiHost with 48, DMG at 58, 61 for Mawson, and 65 for Sphere 3D. So the top 5 are Bitfarms, CleanSpark, Marathon, Riot, and Hive right now. We are still waiting on the results for the Q4 results for a lot of these guys, which we won't get for at least another month or so. When they do provide that, we'll do some weighted averages as well for their debt, current ratios, other things like that. We'll take a look at all of that data for 2024, see how they did, and then we'll rank them on that as well. This is just for their performance, how well they've done in 2022. Let me know if you guys agree with this. Were you surprised who came in first or not? Did you expect somebody else to come in? Let me know down in the comments. Love to hear from you guys. Otherwise, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. We'll see if this year's going to be anything like this. I expect it's going to be way different going forward. There's going to be a lot of miners that are going to be falling behind, I think, unfortunately. And we'll see which ones those are. We kind of know which ones those are already based on their future growth plans, but we'll see. Anything can happen in this market. Miners can report they're buying miners, buying sites, buying assets, and they could go really nicely into 2023 with their growth. So we'll see. All right, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit the like button if you did. Spreadsheet is always available to my Patreon members. Thank you, everyone. I can't talk. Been talking too long. Thank you to everyone there for the continued support. I appreciate it greatly. And thank you so much for watching. Love you all. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.